Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, and today we're back on Master Duel for the second favorite deck of mine, the Ancient Gears. These old gears used to do one thing only: bring out the Chaos Giant somehow and pray that your opponent has enough monsters for you to attack into. But from now on, our opponent is the one that's praying. In the new selection pack, Ancient Gears received their full set of support, and among them there are two new extremely powerful cards, Ancient Gear Dark Golem and Ancient Gear Duel. With them, the deck can now consistently bring out the 4400 attack Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem and attack 3 times. If you didn't break on all the golems, that is. Now, how does this work? With the new Ancient Gear Dark Golem, there's two effects. First, you get to search 2 Ancient Gear cards on summon before discarding any card. Needless to say, very helpful. But the more important one is the other effect. While it is on the field or in the graveyard, it becomes the old Ancient Gear Golem by name. This effect is literally revolutionary. Beforehand, the biggest barrier Ancient Gears face is the first simple line on Ancient Gear Golem: cannot be special summoned. But with the new Ancient Gear Dark Golem, we no longer have to jump through hoops to get over that line. Instead, we just summon the Dark Golem with any normal effect, and we're good to go. With this new Ancient Gear Golem on the field, it allows us to use 2 extremely powerful support cards easily. The first one is of course good old Ancient Gear Fusion, allowing us to deck Fusion when the Golem is on the field. Now we can easily meet the 4 monster requirement on the Chaos Ancient Gear Giant of Doom of a single card. Or even summon Ancient Gear Megaton Golem with 3 golems to enable the effect to attack thrice, even against an empty field. But the even better one is the new trap card, Ancient Gear Duel. This continuous trap not only allows us to fusion by banishing monsters from our graveyard if we have the golem on the field, but it also makes it able to attack 3 times each battle phase just like a Megaton, and makes all monsters that mention Ancient Gear Golem unaffected by activated monster effects. While it's a trap card, we can place it from our hand directly onto the field with Ancient Gear Commander's graveyard effect, so it's directly enabled simply by using Dark Golem's effect. OTK is now a piece of cake by summoning the 4400 attack Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem for 3 attacks with piercing. To top it all off, there's the Ancient Gear Fortress. Beforehand, it wasn't that great because it didn't help with consistency. But now, it's easily the strongest card in the deck. As a continuous spell, it prevents your opponent from activating cards in response to Ancient Gear effects, so they can't respond to your entire combo. Even free chain effects struggle to do anything, as Fortress also grants Ancient Gear monsters targeting and destruction protection the turn they're summoned. So good luck putting a stop to that Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. All of this makes it hard to believe that Fortress was an old card. It's literally a Sangen summoning, the field spell for the next meta deck. Now, a little about running the deck. Other than activating Fortress first every time, there are a lot of options and small things to optimize depending on your hand and your opponent's board. But there's one rather easy combo to keep at the back of the mind: the 1-card OTK. I mean, that's what you want to do with this deck, isn't it? With this combo, you only need 1 card, a way to get into the new starter, Ancient Gear Advance. Doesn't matter if you use a normal summon on a Wyvern, Gear Frame, or a statue, since we don't need a normal summon, and if you have Fortress on the field already, that's even better. With this combo, you start with Ancient Gear Advance. With its effect on activation, you search Ancient Gear Catapult. Activate Catapult by destroying the Ancient Gear Advance. If you have a monster on field, just tribute it first with Advance's second effect, so you have an empty field, and you can summon Ancient Gear Dark Golem straight from the deck. Dark Golem's effect, here you search whatever you need. Grab the Commander first if you need a discard, and then grab the Ancient Gear Fusion as well. With Dark Golem as the Ancient Gear Golem, you can now just deck Fusion into whichever fusion you see fit. Chaos Ancient Gear Giant can attack all monsters once each, while Megaton Golem, by using 2 other golems in the deck, can attack directly 3 times even without a monster on the field. Of course, there are many upgrades you can do to this combo, such as going through Ancient Gear Ballista first, or searching for Ancient Gear Duel to make your monsters unaffected while attacking 3 times, but the concept is the same. Summon Dark Golem, get away to fusion, and then Ultimate Pound. With that said, let's move on to the replays. First replay, we go against Salamangreat. As always, they spend all their time comboing. We had our maxi, but our opponent drawed after searching their field spell, so we essentially put them under a draw and their board is considerably smaller. Still, there's the Fire Princess and the Code of Soul in the grave. Not a problem for Ancient Gears though. Draw phase, our opponent uses maxi immediately. We chain Urgent Schedule and Called By, but the target is not the sea. Instead, we are going for the Fire Princess because we are finishing it this turn. Send both quick play spells as cost for droplets so we can OTK easier, then we make a Ballista of the 2 monsters from Urgent Schedule. This also puts the commander in the grave in case we need it. Summon Wyvern to search the fortress, and now our opponent cannot respond. Or so I thought. Activate Gear Town, which isn't an Ancient Gear card, and our opponent drops the Code of Soul, summoning Raging Phoenix for a board wipe. A bit of a mistake though, since all he can manage to do is trigger both Gear Town and Fortress's second effect. Down comes Reactor Dragon and Dark Golem, which both actually comes with summoning animations, and Dark Golem takes the saved Ash Blossom. Wise move, but a bit too late as we deck fusion into the Chaos Giant for way more than lethal. Second replay, we go against the rare opponent on Chimeras. While our Ash Blossom dealt critical damage by negating the Mirror Sword Knight, they still managed to make the fusion and enable both Sword Knight and the Corn Snake. That's 1 monster negate and targeting protection while their fusion is on the field. Shame though, how Fortress just disables both cards. With Mirror Sword Knight's negate out of the way, we are free to combo as much as we like. We also put down Ancient Gear Duel first, making all our monsters unaffected in case they have a sneaky nib in hand. Commander's effect, put Ancient Gear Duel face up on the field and then we activate Gear Town. Almost always goes with Ballista, reducing the attack to 0 while summoning a Dark Golem from the deck. Back to the same mode combo, Dark Golem and Fusion. With Unknown back row and 0 attack on their field, we summon Ancient Gear Megaton Golem, which comes with a float, before using Tanker to get some nice extra attack. Call battle and... nice set card. Too bad we only get stronger this way. Megaton's effect triggers when it leaves the field, and down comes a 5000 attack Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Then we use Catapult's second effect to pop the fortress so that we can bring back the Megaton as well. While none of our monsters can attack multiple times this time, it's still more than enough to do lethal. Best saved for the last, will demonstrate how this deck runs through the big boards. This time we draw no hand traps against Resonators. While not as strong because they're bad at playing through hand traps, we don't have any this time, and their board is nothing to scoff at with their extreme combo potential. Hot Red negates anything on the field, Red Zone pops a card on effect activation, Auxiliar protects their back row, Drew Swarm as a bonus, and a Crimson Dragon for a synchro of their choice with Shining Dragon in their hand. Bit of a rough hand instead for us, but our opponent made one mistake. They let Fortress resolve. Once that's down, we fire off our droplet, sending Ancient Gear Duel as one of the cost, so they can't chain Red Zone. And by the time our opponent flips it face up afterwards, it's too late, and they can't pop Fortress anymore. With Fortress safe and sound, our opponent can no longer respond to our combo at all, and we go into the same basic combo. Dark Golem searching Ancient Gear Fusion. Probably should have stopped there to run under nib, but here we combo a bit more, putting an extra Golem on the field, before finding out I don't have another fusion for more pounding. So we just activate Ancient Gear Fusion, sending 3 monsters from our deck as material, and attack 6 times for a game. If it wasn't for this deck's terrible matchup against Duels, it's probably part of the meta already. With OTK now available in a 1-card combo, and the extremely unfair Ancient Gear Fortress, the deck can now play through interactions like no other, and definitely not losing in terms of size. Absolutely love the deck, just need to figure out how to win the Duel matchup, and we can get a PhD in dueling. If you're looking for a going second deck in this heavily going first meta, I'd say this is your best choice. That's it from me today, latest.